ban Bardish. Ooh, and Salaman Great Circle. Better get multi-roll in there as well. And send. Oh! Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT, back again with another episode of 10-Minute Testing. Well, as I'm sure you're all familiar by now, we have a new ban list, and I have it on good authority that all the top decks have been banned out. With that in mind, we're going to play what I assume will be the best deck in the upcoming format. I can't see the title card though, so before I turn my face to the computer, let me just take a big sip of water. So here's the list, and does anyone smell toast burning? Oh, I threw it. Okay. As always, I'll give you a background about the archetype, a little bit of a discussion about what I hope the deck can do, and of course, the card by card. So firstly, for those of you that don't know, wow, you really haven't heard of Thunder Dragon? Alright, well, it's a super pushed archetype that I really misevaluated at release, which puts it in league with basically every good deck released in the past 3 years. Commonly used as an argument against set rotation, Thunder Dragon proves that Yu-Gi-Oh's ability to use cards printed in 1999 is a strength, not a weakness. It accomplishes this feat of format defense by, printing 18 new cards that only tangentially interact with the old fan favorite, and inventing an identity for it based on what's metagame relevant in 2019. How unique. Each of their associated monsters has 2 effects, one that triggers by discarding them, and one that triggers when they're sent from the field to the graveyard or banished. They're meant to be used to enable extremely powerful fusion monsters, but are more often at home as an extremely efficient package of bunguses for link boards. This deck has been through several different iterations over the last 9 months, but it has now delivered in the form of Thunder Guardragon. This is a deck that aims to supplement the board-building CRUSADIA Guardragon package with a stellar backup plan and finisher in Thunder Dragon Colossus. While the ban of Eclipse Wyvern and the limits of the Chaos Dragons have definitely made it harder to gather the gunguses Guardragon is known for, it turns out Saruya is still a sick card and some decks can't crack Colossus. What's more, in a format where the sticky, interactive, and disruptive Striker, Salamangreat, and Orchist have been taken behind the shed and shot, the deck stands a much better chance at pushing through the choke points that used to give it trouble. In short, Konami left too many pieces of a combo deck available, and we're going to use it to wreck a weaker meta. So with that, let's get into the card by card. For what it's worth, I've built this deck to consistently end on a board of Hieratic Seal of the Celestial Spheres, Thunder Dragon Colossus, Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, and number 38, Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy. It's very possible there's a better end board, but what I have in charisma, I lack in creativity. First, our dangers. 2 Nessie, 2 Sneck, and 2 Jackalope, that's all we're allowed, 1 Bigfoot to make Hope Harbinger, and 1 Mothman. For Thunders, we're on 2 Roar, 2 Hawk, 2 Dark, and 3 of our Big Green Friend. We're also on 1 Dragon Duo as rank material, ugh, that sounded terrible, and 2 Levio Gnaw as the Harbinger homie that hand loops. Next are the Crusadias, 3 each of Maximum, Draco, Arborea, and Reclusia, everything but the Leonis. Finally, our extenders, 2 Destrudo, 1 each of the Chaos Dragons, and a Brotar. For spells, we're on Light of Sekka, because if there's one thing this completely unfair, uninteractive deck needed, it was Pot of Greed with upside. The extra deck is extremely tight. We are on 2 Colossus, 1 Archfiend Abyss, 1 Titanic Buster Hope Blaster Giganova Galactic Dragonic Dragon of the Burning Abyss, 1 Boral Sword Dragon, you know things have gotten out of hand when Boral Sword is the most cuttable thing in your extra deck, 2 Saruya, a Triple Burst, Nightmare Phoenix, Beat Cop, Spheres, Guardragon's Agrippin, Pisty, and Elpie, and 1 Crusadia Magus. So with that, let's jump into the games. Our first match is up against Zombies. God, you remember Zombies? It's that deck that tries to recur Balor Drock every turn, maybe lock you out with a copy of Rivalry of Warlords in a zombie world. Anyway, keep in mind that the purpose of this ban list was to decrease the power level of the format and allow rogue decks like Zombie the space to compete. We're going first. We're going to lead with a copy of Dark, so we've activated a hand effect. Afterwards, we're going to normal summon a copy of Maximus. We'll link summon a copy of Magus before special summoning this Dark back with Hawk. We'll get a copy of Draco from deck and special summon it to beat Cop's Zone, adding back this copy of Maximus and special summoning it as well before going into LP and this copy of Triple Burst. We'll activate Brotar's effect to get a copy of Black Dragon Clap Serpent, then special summon him for a Skull Det. We'll use Saruya's effect alongside Black Dragon Clap Serpents for a White Dragon Wyverbuster, and wow, a Thunder Dragon. After that, we're going to special summon a copy of Leviosa, triggering the Banish effect of Thunder Dragon Roar, and then we're going to get a copy of Super Bolt to our side of the field as well. We'll special summon a copy of Wyverbuster to go into Pisty. We'll activate Pisty's effect, bring back Brotar, then we'll link summon a copy of Agripin for an HDRAA. We'll go into a Celestial Spheres, and wow, what a fun interactive game for our opponent! Our second match is up against Counter Fairy. This might seem suspect, but need I remind you that not only is Extravagance legal and in our opponent's opening hand, but this new ban list puts Solemn Judgment to 3! That's what I love about this ban list. It shakes things up. It allows tier 3 and higher decks to compete with the top dogs. Our opponent's also going first, so this looks pretty good for them. They're going to lead with a copy of Pot of Extravagance, and what do they find off the top but a Sanctuary of Parshath and a copy of Guiding Adrienne. They're then going to normal summon a copy of Power Angel Valkyria. All they have to do is survive until their next turn to fire off this card of demise, and they'll draw the traps that will keep them in the game. Of course, that's not going to happen. We have the full combo in our hand, and as soon as LP hits the field, they'll concede. Alright, so it's time for game 3, and you know what that means, a best of 3 versus meta? Okay, you're gonna have to cut me some slack on this one. Because we don't know what the metagame is, as it hasn't yet been defined, our opponent is playing Dinosaur. At the very least, this is a deck that has massively benefited from the overall lowering of the power level of the format, and our opponent is a pilot who is very highly rated on Dueling Book. This means they are extremely adept at waiting for a judge. We're going first, as is to be expected. We'll lead with a copy of Thunder Dragon, adding 2 Thunder Dragons to our hand. Afterwards, we're going to normal summon a copy of Draco and go into Magus. We're going to activate Jackalope's effect. It's special summoned at link point, adding a Draco to our hand, which we will special summon at the point of Beat Cop. We'll special summon a copy of Danger Nessie before special summoning a copy of Destrudo and going into LP. We'll go into Triple Burst Dragon, activate LP, and there is the Ash Blossom. Thankfully, it's not that big of a deal. We'll go into Skulldet number 1 before going into a Pisty. We'll activate Pisty's effect to bring back Draco, and then use Skulldet number 2 to draw a new hand. One of those new cards is Sekka's Light. We'll then special summon a copy of Dark, get ourselves a copy of Super Bolt, and trigger the effect of Dark for fuel for next turn. Afterwards, we're going to activate Hawk to get Dark back. We'll special summon a copy of Magius, I suppose because I miscounted, and go into a second Super Bolt and pass. Our opponent, unfortunately for them, can out exactly 1 Super Bolt, but can't out both. We're going to activate Light of Sekka, which we rip off the top in a cruel twist of fate, before going into a Borrelsword Dragon, activating the effect of Light of Sekka, finding a monster we can easily switch to defense position, and attacking for lethal. Ugh, that was through an Ash Blossom even. Well, in game 2, we're going to have to replicate that result because look what our opponent has drawn. Being Dinosaur, they really don't want to go first, which is great news for us. We're going to lead with a copy of Light of Sekka, drawing 2 cards off the top before normal summoning a copy of Reclusia. We'll activate Sekka, then special summon a copy of Arborea we found off the top. How amazing. And go into Beat Cop. We'll activate Draco's effect, bring back Reclusia, and special summon that. We'll special summon Danger Sneck as well, and a Roar before going into LP. We'll go into Triple Burst Dragon. It gets ashed once again, but that's no big deal because now we can just activate the effect of Saruya. We'll activate the effect of Roar as well, special summoning a copy of Dark to our side of the field, and reshuffling our hand. One of those cards we reshuffle into is a Thunder Dragon, which we will special summon. We'll go into a Leviosa to tuck one of our opponent's cards from their hand back into their deck, and now they're on 3, one of which is double or nothing. We'll go into Super Bolt number 1, Super Bolt number 2, and they'll concede. So we're back with a deck, and God, I'm having such a hard time staying awake. Anyone else? Let's just do the pros and cons. First, the pros. 1, it's good. I mean, it's really good. It's good first or second. It's good at making unbreakable boards. It's good at constraining your opponent's actions. It's good at playing through hand traps, and it's good at backup plans. It's good. 2 is that while the Chaos hit did something, it's hard to tell exactly what, especially when drawing a Levia, then searching a Black Dragon off of Brotar happens so frequently and allows you to just play the deck the way it used to work. And 3, I can't stress this enough, every other archetype is worse. Eating a multi-roll with Harbinger literally wins the game now. Salamangreat actually has to resolve their monster effects. Orcust spends 30 minutes summoning Topologic Bomber Dragon. This is just about as good as it was last format. And the cons. 1 is the choke point is, like, visible, at least. Previously, there were so many must negates that it was hard to pinpoint where you should hit them and how hard. Now it's clear, get LP and hope that they don't have the dangers to make Saruya. 2, there are, while seldom, brick hands. Not enough Crusadias, too many Thunders, and a lack of dragons are all game over, even if they only happen once in a blue moon. And 3, is this fun for any of you? I was ready for a reset of the metagame. I was sick of Striker, but is this the way you wanted it to happen? Say what you will about the longevity of the top decks, the last format was the most popular in recent memory for a reason. I mean, is it really a good thing that we've supplanted interactive boards with solitaire ones? Do you really enjoy playing a format where a deck with 0 hand traps has unbelievable matchups versus the entire field, save for things like Pendulum that aim to build a wall faster and sooner? And most importantly, is this just the way Yu-Gi-Oh! Works now? Concurrent metagame cycles of interaction and inaction, long enough that you begin to resent the current playstyle so that you're placated by the new one and continue to purchase product? Is that just what we're doing? All in all, it's exhausting. Exhausting is the only word I can think of to describe this. Enjoy Dragon Link. I hope leaving this legal was worth it to your investors. So, that's that. While I appreciate all of my viewers, a special thanks to my patrons, especially Colin Whalen, Michael Saumior, Adam Trevino, Adrian Bra, Distrin, Isaac Jackson, Lieutenant Labcoat, Lucas Geardis, and Second. If you want to see me play the decks I make on this show on stream, I'm on twitch.tv/mbtygo every Monday night from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.